Hey guys, good to see you back. Today, I would like to talk about one of the most common reading skills named function. Function skill in the set reading section. In my opinion, it is a hard skill that needs a lot of work. A function skill is an indirect one. He doesn't need to know the meaning of a speech. He doesn't know he doesn't need to know the meaning of the referenced lines, but you're required to read beyond the words. You're required to know what did the what the author meant by the speech he's been given. Every sentence, every phrase is having a meaning beyond it. You need to know that meaning. Actually, you're asked about a word, you might be asked about a sentence, about a phrase, about a paragraph, or about certain lines. So, you need to find the functions of those lines. Why did the scientist, why did the author, why did the historical figure meant by saying those lines, those words, or this paragraph? Function skill is not that easy and it requires work. Usually, it comes up in a quotation mark. It needs you to know the effect, the function, the purpose of certain speech. When it comes to a novel passage, you need to find out the function or effect of a saying, of a repetition, of a comment, of a historical, of a character inside the passage. When it comes to a history passage, you're going to be asked about the effect or a purpose or a function of a comment, a saying, or a speech of a historical figure. But when it comes to a scientific passage, you're also being asked to find out the effect, the function, the purpose of the saying of a scientist on a result of a study, of an experiment, of a discovery, of a finding. In a scientific passage, where the results is shown somewhere in the middle of the passage, there's going to be a comment on the result. The same scientist who made the experiment is commenting on his result, or that comment might have been given by another scientist who did not take part in the study. Usually, the comments are shown up in a quotation mark, and the question comes as the author or the scientist, blah 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 blah, mentioned blah 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 in a quotation mark in order to. What is the function of this quotation mark? What is the effect or the purpose of the quotation mark? Let's see the frequency of this skill. Actually, it comes in the whole reading section between 5 to 7 times. To spot it, to identify the function, look at the words in red color. Usually it is spotted by those words. To, like the author mentioned blah 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 blah, to. In order to, the author mentioned blah 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 blah, in order to. The parenthetical information in blah 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 serve to. The purpose of to. The function of to, the effect of a sentence or of a comment. So The words shown in red color are indicating that this question belongs to a skill named function. To, in order to, serve to, purpose, function, and effect. How we're going to answer it? Let me show you how we're going to answer it. And also we're going to go through some application from the real set test function questions. To get to answer it, number one, you don't need to look at any of the answer choices first. Don't look at any of the answer choices first. Number two, you gotta rephrase the question. Try to rephrase it. Try to shape the question the way you like. You're gonna rephrase it like this. What does this word if it's a word? What does this phrase if it's a phrase? What does this line if it's a line? What does this sentence if it's a sentence? What does this paragraph if it's a paragraph do? Do here means what is its function? What is its effect? What is its purpose? If you've been given a reference lines and a quotation mark, so we need to go to the assigned referenced lines and we need to read around them. We need to read one or two sentences above them and one and two sentences below them. So the given referenced lines should be read. I will also read one or two sentences before and one or two sentences below. If you're not given a referenced lines, we need to pick up a lead word from the question that would lead us to where the answer is. A lead word is usually a unique word, a special word that does not get repeated often. Take the lead word, any word special, any word you're sure that is going to show up in the answer. A word that is not existing a lot in the passage. Take the lead word, scan the passage for, read the spot, the portion around the lead word. For example, if the lead word is existing in line 17, so you need to read between line 15 and 19. So, using a lead word or using reference lines, we ended in a portion, in a citation, in the passage. We need to read it. After we read it, we need to understand its claim. What does it talk about? The claim or the information in the referenced lines. Secondly, we need to pick up the tone. We need to figure out if it's talking positively or negatively. Now it's fine. After that, we're going to go to the four answer choices. We're going to go to the four answer choices and we're going to pick up the choice with these qualification, with these attributes. A correct answer choice should have these attributes. Number one, should be having a direct support in the read referenced lines. The lines you read are giving the meaning of the correct answer choice, or the correct answer choice is having a support in the lines you read. Secondly, no more, no less. It means the correct answer choice does not add any extra information, does not leave any information uncovered from the portion you read, from the citation you read. Doesn't include any extra information other than the citation, doesn't leave any information uncovered. Number three, it should be having no extreme words. unless they are required. When the extreme words are required, if the citation is talking extremely, is talking about a claim in certain extreme way, so the answer choice has to be extreme, and this is not existing in a big scale. Usually, the citation is kind of moderate, and the answer choice should be moderate. So again, to confirm this point, the correct answer choice, number one, has to have a direct support in the citation you read, has to be consistent with the tone of the citation. If the tone is positive, if the tone of the spot you read, the citation you read, the reference lines you read, the area around the lead word you picked, if the tone is positive, so the correct answer choice should be positive and vice versa. And no more, no less, and eventually has no extreme words unless they are needed. Let's see. Let's see an example. I have an example from March 2020 USA QAS SAT test. Let's see that. Question says, one important function, one important function of, let me, let me do that, of the first paragraph of passage 1 is 2. Is 2. He's asking about the function. Here is the word which is indicating a keyword indicating the question belongs to a skill named function. A function and is2. Okay, so we have to rephrase the question. We're not going to look at the answer choices. Let's stick to the steps of the answer one per one. First, we indicate that or make sure that the question belongs to a function skill. We could easily tell that from the word function and from the word to. Secondly, we're going to rephrase it. I can tell myself, I can say to myself, what is the function of the first paragraph? What is the effect of the first paragraph? What is the purpose of the first paragraph? And then we're going to go to read the first paragraph. Let's go. Here we go. First paragraph. It says, in the year in early 2000s, wolves began to drift down from Canada. Wolves are moving from Canada to America and across the border from Idaho into Washington state. So the wolves are coming from Canada to America to Washington. This natural wolf recolonization, to recolonize, is to have a replacement. At the beginning, initially, they lived in Canada and they have recolonized in America. So they have another environment in America. This natural wolf recolonization inspired ecologists, made an inspiration, gave the ecologist an inspiration, such as William Ripple and his colleagues, to conduct, look at that, they made them inspired to conduct an exercise. Exercise means a research. So I could understand that the movement of the wolf from north to south, from Canada to America, gave an inspiration to ecologists to conduct an exercise or a research in scientific thinking to consider the potential impact. Impact means effect. The effect that an apex predator like the wolf, the effect of the wolf would have on the intricate workings of the lynx. Which is lynx? Lynx is a kind of wild cat in America. What have on the intricate workings of the lynx? Snowshoe hare, hare means a rabbit. Food web. At the time, Washington had low hare and lynx population. He meant to say that the number of population of the species hare and lynx was not that big at this time, and a high coyote population. Coyote is a kind of wild dog in America. Wild dog. Coyotes had recently expanded, increased in number, expanded the range and abundance. They became available in plentiful number there. Wolves prey on coyotes. That's fine. Wolves are threatening coyotes. What if the wolf returned to the Pacific Northwest? He meant to Canada. If the wolf returns to Canada, what if the wolves return to the Pacific Northwest could indirectly improve lynx conservation via trophic cascade effect? What is trophic cascade effect? You guys need to know that in the environment, in the ecology, each species is having its own niche, its own placement, its own population. Like, let's see that. We know that the wolf is preying on, is eating, wolves eat or threaten the prey on the coyote, and prey on the coyote, and the coyote are preying on lynx. Prey on lynx. He meant to say, so if the wolf is available in a bigger number, so the number of coyotes is going to decrease. And if the number of coyotes is decreasing, so the number of lynx is going to exist in a bigger scale or increase. This is what he said. And this is what the term trophic cascade effects mean. If the wolves return back to Canada, it means in America the number of wolves is decreasing. What's going to happen to the coyotes? The number of coyotes is going to increase. And if the number of coyotes is increasing, they're going to prey on lynx. So the number of lynx is going to decrease. This is what's going on. He's talking, what I could understand is he talks about the placement, the niches, the recesses of every species in the environment. If that kind of species is available in a bigger scale, what's going to happen to the other species which is being preyed on? And what's going to happen to the third one, and so on. So the paragraph is talking about the arrangement and the placement of certain species in the ecology in America. Let's, this is what I could understand. The placement of the certain species like the coyotes, the lynx, and the wolves and the hare in the American ecology. I cannot tell what is positive and what is negative. Let's see the answer choices. Okay, here we go. Choice, choice A. Assert means confirm. Confirm the strength of the assumption. Assumption means hypothesis. He's assuming something. He did not make any assumption yet. Assumptions is not having a support. He only said that the walls gave him an inspiration to go for an exercise or experiment. So he did not do any assumption yet to inspire him to get to make something in the future. So no assumptions have been made and no hypotheses have been made. Assert the strength of the assumptions that informed the hypothesis that Trefl and his colleagues developed. They did not develop anything yet. This is also having no support. He did not develop. The only thing mentioned about those scientists is that they've been given an inspiration to study or to make an exercise or a research on that. They did not develop anything. They did not introduce an assumption. They did not show any hypothesis. So for this, choice A is going to be incorrect. Let's see choice D. Choice D. Compare behavioral traits, attributes, adjectives about the behavior of the animals that Trefl and his colleagues studied. So he only talked about how they prey on each other. So we did not encounter any traits, any attributes, any behavior except for preying on each other. So traits is having no support. No support NS. Let's see. Now choice D is going to be wrong. Let's see choice C. Choice C. Define, making a definition. Define important concept. Concept, okay, that Raffle and his colleagues employed in the research. Raffle and his colleagues did not make any research yet. You gotta know that. They've been inspired to make an exercise. For this, until this point, they did not do any research yet. So, concepts that Raffle and his colleagues employed in the research, no research has been done yet. And then the word define, there is nothing to define. If you go up, he said traffic cascade, but it has not been defined. I did see a terminology named traffic cascade, but it has not been defined yet. He did not define it yet. Okay, choice B, let's see choice B. Now choice C is incorrect. Choice B, describe the ecological, yes, ecology, which is the placement, the arrangement of each species in his own in its own niche in the ecology, in the environment. Describe the ecological situation, yes, situation, the placement of every species, the wolf, the coyote, the lynx, the hare, and so on, that Raffle and his colleagues considered. See, look at the word. He said considered. He did not say research. He did not say finding. He did not say developed. Look at the words. In choice A, he said developed. He did not develop anything, but to consider, to take into his own consideration. Considered is having a substitute of gave him an inspiration to make an exercise, gave him consideration to make an exercise, to make a research, to make a study, take into his own consideration. So there is no research being made yet. Studied, there is no study being made yet. And in choice A, nothing is being developed yet. But choice B, which is correct, it says considered, took into his own consideration. Choice B is a correct choice, guys. Let's go through one more example from the real SAT test. Look at that. I have an example also from March 2020 USA QAS SAT test. Here we go. Number 7. The main purpose. The main purpose of the description in lines 32, 37 is to. Now I can tell that this question belongs to a function skill from two things. From the word purpose, it's one of the function keywords, and from the word to, it's one of the function keywords. And I've been given referenced lines. So we're not going to look into any of the answer choices, and we're going to go reading the lines and reading around it. So we're going to read around the lines. If it's possible, he said from 32 to 37, we're going to understand the claim, we're going to figure out the tone, and we're going to go down to the answer choices and pick up the answer choice that has a direct support in the lines you read, consistent with the tone you read. Let's go through. Let's go through. Okay, here we go. Here I go to the lines here, guys. He said from 32 to 37. So we can read earlier, we can read this spot from here to the word here, from the word here to the word here, from here to here. Here in the stone walled corridor where the sunlight came in through enormous stiff mosquito screens. So he's been describing a building or a corridor with mosquito screens on the windows. It seems to be a kind of countryside, and they're having mosquito screens on the windows. Stiff mosquito screens over every window, and he's talking about a lady named, you're gonna figure out the name soon, and her clothes clung to her like another skin. He meant to say the clothes are stuck to her body, are stuck to her body. Waraula, that is her name. Waraula, a given name. We've talked about that passage before. A lady uh, named Jess. She lived in America and she's returning home to Nigeria for first time. And when she arrived home, she's been given her Nigerian name, which is Waraula. And it seems that she's not able to accept that name on her. Let's see. Waraula sounded like another person. Here we see a change in the personality. Sounded like another person. Okay, not her at all. Yani she is different. She is a different one. Sound should she answer to this name? Should should she accept the new name? Here she got a hesitation. She is hesitated if would she accept the new name given to her or not. And by doing so, steal the identity of someone who belongs here. So, the claim first described an environment, a surroundings, a building, and the area around it. And the building is having windows with screen fences. It seemed to be a countryside, and it indicated that the lady Waraula seemed to be another person in the new environment, in the new neighborhood where she lived in. She looked like another person. Especially, she's having a hesitation for her new name. Would she accept it? Is going to be like stealing an identity of someone else or not? She did not accept it yet. She did not refuse it, but she's kind of hesitated. This is what we came up with from the lines we're at. Let's read And let's go through the answer choices. Choice A. It says, underscore Jazz's philosophical musings. Musings means deep thinking. I think she's been deeply thinking. The lines did not say that she is been thinking deeply. Musings means to contemplate and to meditate, to think deeply. It doesn't have a support by invoking a natural setting. Yes, I did encounter natural setting, but it hasn't been invoked. It has been described. So, natural setting being invoked is having no support, and musings is having no support, and then choice A is a wrong choice. Let's go to choice D. Reveal, it means to show. Jess's acceptance, she did not accept, of her new life by depicting a common occurrence. Something occurred, something existed. By common occurrence, he meant the neighborhood, the surroundings where she lived. By depicting, yes, he's been depicting, he's been illustrating, he's been describing a common occurrence, but to depict it, okay, depicting a common occurrence may be correct, but reveal Jess's acceptance that's contrary to fact. Jess did not accept the new environment because he said she seemed to be a different person. And then she's hesitated between choosing her new name to choose a new name or not. There is no acceptance here at all. It's a contrary to fact and a wrong tone, and that means choice D is a wrong choice. Let's go to choice C. Portray Jess's thoughts. Yes, I could encounter thoughts. The lines are indicating thoughts of Jess about her Nigerian background through a nostalgic lens. Nostalgia means longing to the past. He is longing to the past. He's having a desire of the past days. So there is no nostalgia at all because she seemed to be a different person in the new neighborhood, in the new surroundings. She did not accept it yet. She did not even accept the new name given to her. So the word nostalgic is having no support at all. So choice C is a wrong choice. Let's go to choice B. Suggest the correspondence, the connection between Jess's physical surroundings. Yes, there was a physical surroundings, the corridor where she existed that had windows with screens all the way around, and her emotional state. Yes, I could encounter emotional state. She's emotionally confused. She is thinking she is a different person and she's confused whether to accept the new name or to refuse it. So, physical surroundings is having a support and emotional state is having a support, and for these, choice B is a correct choice. Let us have a third example, guys, to just make it very clear. Let's go through one more example. Here we go. It's from May 2018 USA QS SAT test. Question number 22. It says, the author includes the phrase and well. Line number 4. Here we've been given a line. Most likely to. Most likely to. So, first, we could tell that it's a function, that the question belongs to a function skill from the word to. to for the purpose of, for the function of. And we could realize we've been given a referenced line. He said line number 4. So why don't we start from the beginning, as we need to read 2 lines earlier and 2 lines before, so we can start from the beginning. We're going to read the spot, the portion around line number 4. We have to understand the claim. We have to pick up the tone, and then we'll go to the answer choices to pick up the one that is having a support in the claim of the referenced lines that is matching the tone of the referenced lines that is having no more, no less. It does not add extra information, and it does not leave any information uncovered, and also free from extreme words. Let's go. Let's read around line number 4. Here we go. We're going to read from the beginning. Here we go. It says, place a house cat. When he said a house cat, it means a domestic cat, next to its direct ancestor. Ancestor means the predecessor, the forefather, the ancient, the old cat. He meant the wild cat. So he meant to say, place the domestic cat next to the wild cat, the Near Eastern wild cat. And it may take you a minute. It means it's not going to take you much time. You can easily to spot the difference. You can easily spot the difference. You can easily tell the difference in less than a minute. They are about the same size. Yes, both the wild cat and the domestic cat are having the same size and shape. They're having the same shape. And well, here, and well means yes, I agree. And well means yes, I agree. They both look like cats. So, and well, they both look like cats. It means yes, I agree about the similarity. Yes, I agree, they are similar. They having the same size, the same shape. Yes, I agree. They both look like cats. Yeah, and they're having a similarity. But here, but may change the claim. When he said but, he meant to change the claim. Let's see what he's going to say. The wild cat is fierce and feral, like wild. Whereas the house cat, thanks to nearly 10,000 years of domestication, is tame and adaptable. These are not traits. Don't say they are traits, but they are behaviors. One is feral and one is adaptable and tame, enough to have become the world's most popular pet. Okay, from the claim, I could come up with these notes. The scientist is trying to say that the domestic cat and its ancestor, the wild cat, look alike or having pretty big similarity. They're having the same shape, they're having the same size, and yes, he agrees, they both look alike or having similarity. He meant to say it's not going to take you much time to figure out that. And he mentioned that the wildcat is feral, means wild, and the house cat is tame and adaptable because of 10,000 years of domestication of or evolution. Because of 10,000 years of evolution or domestication. This is the claim we could come up with. Let us go to the to the choices. Let us go to the 4 answer choices. Okay. Choice A. Stress that the relationship between wild cats and domestic cats is continually shifting. This is contrary to fact because he said they both looking similar and shifting means changing, so it is having no support, and a continuation of shifting or changing is having no support, so continually shifting made choice a wrong choice. Again, the claims I picked up is that the house cat and the wildcat, the most domestic wildcat, are both having the same size, having the same shape, and yes, the scientist agrees they're having similarity. For this, choice A is a wrong choice. Choice B, introduce a discussion of the physical attributes of domestic cats. He did not mention physical attributes, he only mentioned some behaviors. Don't don't mix up. Physical attributes is having no support. When he means physical attributes, he would say the body characteristics, the ears, the skull, the fur, the hair, the size, the tail. Those are physical attributes, but he only talked about a bit of behaviors. So physical attributes is having no support, and this makes choice B a wrong choice. Let's go to choice C. Advances a tentative يعني hesitating hypothesis. Tentative is kind of negative tone, and the lines we're at are kind of positive. So tentative is a negative tone hypothesis about the evolution and the development of wildcat. So it's a negative claim, and the lines I read are bearing a positive claim. Choice C is going to be a wrong choice. Let's go to choice D. Acknowledge the obviousness, the clearness. It is very clear that of a similarity. Yes, similarity, he said, same size, same shape, and well, yes, I agree, they're looking alike, they're having the same shape. So he meant to say they're having a similarity. So acknowledge, confirm the obviousness, the clearness of a similarity between wild cats and domestic cats. Okay, choice D is clearly positive. It does talk about similarity. Choice D is a correct choice. So, guys, we've talked about one of the hard skills in the set reading section, which is named the function skill. It shows up between 5 to 7 times in the test, and it's kind of indirect skill. It's kind of indirect skill. It needs you to read beyond the lines. It needs to know. It needs you to know what is said beyond the lines. It is not an easy skill. It is not an easy skill. Function skill, and we've talked how it's been identified. We've talked about how can we answer it, and I have just mentioned the steps of answering the function skill, and we've taken 3 examples from 3 different tests of how to identify and answer the function skill. Thank you guys for listening. Until we meet again, and we may talk about other skills in the near future. Thank you very much.